So when people get married, there's a Bible verse that we call cliche, not because it doesn't have any meaning, but because everybody likes to use it. It's 1 Corinthians 13, the definition of love that Paul gives us. It's funny, there's another verse in the Bible that's also kind of a cliche, not because it doesn't have any meaning, but because we always read it at graduations. And I'm going to read it for you now at graduation, but I'm going to tell you something, that today this verse has more meaning for us than I've ever seen at the end of a May, and when it's time for people to sail off into the sunset and begin their lives. So let me read it for you now, and let's let this old verse be new for us right now in this moment. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. And then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. I will be found by you, declares the Lord, and will bring you back from captivity. I will gather you from all the nations and places where I have banished you, declares the Lord, and will bring you back to the place from which I carried you into exile. You guys are so special to me because when you were freshmen, I was a freshman. When you started Texas A&M University and all of the places that you're graduating from now, I started A&M United Methodist Church. And together we came in with wide eyes and wondering, I wonder if we can do this. But we're not freshmen anymore, are we? And 4 years later, here we are, ready to take the world by storm, ready to go do what God has asked us to do. And the crazy thing now is, for you, is that you're facing, in our lifetime, an unprecedented thing in COVID-19. But I want to tell you a little bit about this verse that I have read for graduations since I was in high school all the way through. I've heard people read this. God says, I know the plans that I have for you, plans for you to prosper and not be harmed, for you to have a hope and a future. It feels like maybe that's not going to come true. But can I tell you this? Let me tell you when that verse was written and to whom it was written. That's why I read a little bit more. It was written to the exiled Jews, people who had no idea what the future was going to bring, had no idea what the world was going to be, had no idea if it was ever going to be right again and Jerusalem be reestablished, and they have a home again. God didn't say to a bunch of people who had succeeded, a bunch of people that had graduated, a bunch of people that had all of their ducks in a row about their future. That's not who God wrote this verse for. This verse comes out of the prophet of Jeremiah for a people who had no idea what's next. And maybe that's the point. Can I tell you this little secret? No graduating class, not one that I have ever met in my lifetime, not one that I was a part of, or one that I've gotten to see walk through the stage of life with a funny hat on their head and a rented gown that you paid way too much for. None of those classes had it figured out about what the future was going to be like. Not one of them. They might have had a destination they were going to. They might have had a job that was secured. But what I can promise you is they were just as questioning about the future, their future in this world, as we all are right now, as you are, as graduating seniors. And it may feel like that you have no idea what's next, but what I can promise you is God does. You may have no idea, but God does. God's always had an idea. God's always had a plan. God's always had hope for you to hold on to. I want to tell you that we've walked through a lot together. I mean, to the point where I look back and just am thankful to God that you've been in my life for the last 4 years, and I've gotten to be in your life. And that's not going to stop, no matter where you go. But you know what's also not going to stop? My prayers for you, as they have always been since we started off as freshmen. My prayers that, okay, God, let's do this. But even more importantly, what's not going to end is God's plans for you. He's had it from the very beginning. He had it when we thought we knew what was next. And more importantly than ever, We trust that he has it now. When the whole world seems to be on pause and is falling apart, friends, God is still planning for you. I hope you have as much hope today as you did when you were a freshman, because I know that God sees as much potential in you today as God did when we all started this thing together. Friends, I love you, and I'm praying for you, and I want you to always know that I believe more than ever that God is going to do something incredible in your life. Why do I believe it? Because he told me so in Jeremiah 29. And he told you too. Happy graduation. Hold on to hope, because it's what God is giving away abundantly, and it's what we get to have if we seek it with all of our hearts, just like you have in the last several years, and just like you will in the years to come. Amen.